Hey yo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Live here, and welcome back to the Summer Coaster Contest. Our first of 4 creations here today is going to Fruity Cocktails, created by Frooty, a master builder in this community, and here they say, washed up on the shores of Coconut Cove, the Fruity friends are determined to turn this sleepy beach into the juiciest party paradise the tropics have ever seen. Please ride front bumper only. Peace, Fruity. Okay, short and sweet, let's get to it. All right, quite a short introduction there, so it looks like we are going to be walking the queue live here today. I love what I'm seeing here by Frooty. Frooty is always doing these vibrant and colorful creations. I have no idea where I'm going, but it's looking good. A lot of basic shape art, fun characters, lots of fruitiness. I guess we're going in the gift shop? Blended. Is the coaster called Blended? Shaken, not stirred. We have 2 options here. Let's get Blended. Ooh, starfishy. Oh, this is adorable. Wow. Oh, they all have eyeballs. It's so cute. Great queue by Frooty here. Exactly what we want to see. Oh, a scuba Planko friend. I like that. Introducing and including your Planko friend in a queue, or a modified version at that. And here we are at the coaster. We can look at the stats live. There's a look at them there. And as requested, we'll be doing this in front bumper. Let's go. Oh no! Fruit cocktails, there it is. Absolutely amazing. Smooth coaster experience there. Great summer theming. Spirit of the contest 100%. Let's definitely give this another go at nighttime. They said front bumper only, so I guess we'll respect their decisions and just do 2 in front bumper. Fruity Tooty cocktails, absolutely love it, Fruity. Super playful creation. Let's pop out and look at it. And I need to know what the other queue is all about, right? But definitely the spirit of the contest. Oh, we got our little photos here right at the exit. Love to see it. Very playful souvenir shop using the tropical resort pack. Flamingos. We had animated sharks jumping up at us on the coaster. Just a ton of creativity using the basic shape art and Planet Coaster. Tons to look at here with the whale, the iguana, giant Riptide there with the coaster rolling through it. Looks amazing. There it is there. Amazing. We have some restaurants to get your fruity cocktails. Now what's this way? Shaken, not stirred. It definitely looks like a queue. Do we have a second ride here today? Oh, it's a drop tower. Okay, fun little extra. Let's take a poke around. What we got going on here? All sorts of cool stuff. I love this iguana. Oh my goodness. Blem. Everything has little eyes. I think it's adorable. 100% real juice. But isn't that like they're murdering these poor little fruit characters? Oh, it's a Krabby. Love the Krabbies. Flowers are really nicely constructed. So if you guys like making stuff with basic shape art, another Planko friend. You've dressed up your Planko friend in multiple different ways and included it throughout the experience. I think that's really fun. But yeah, if you're into basic shape art, this is definitely one to download. Share codes will be in the description, and you can take a look at how Frooty has constructed all of this stuff. It's really quite incredible. A lot of great personality in here. Everywhere you look, there's another character to see. They're adorable. Little pair there. Oh, we even have a hot dog and French fries. This is amazing. Although I don't know how I feel about the color of that hot dog. Oh no. I love the big whale. No, great. You had some movers, right? A lot of basic shape art. That is Frooty's focus. That is their personality. And we always love to see when we're doing these contests, people's personalities come through in their creations. And that is why we do these. Everybody has a distinct style, and this is Frooty's. And it's a nice blueprint. It's a nice coaster, and it has a lot of great visuals. It's everything you would want from the coaster contest. I guess the only thing I would recommend in order to, keep up, you're currently a master builder, and what we're seeing from the Legends is a lot more of those movers, a lot more of those animators. We have the sun there, we had the shark, and that sort of thing. I would like to see maybe for next time just a little bit more. You can have these fruits jumping up and down, maybe just put a little bit of sway on some of these flowers, and just a little bit more motion throughout the build, because the personality of everything looks so alive, but it's kind of static. So with just a little bit of motion, it will also feel alive, and I think that will take you over the edge for next time. But I mean, an absolutely stellar creation here from Frooty, and a great way to kick off the episode. Keep on keeping on. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Riptide, Channel 5 Gaming Coaster Contest by Coaster Kev, an expert in this community. And here they say, take a ride on Riptide, a launch surf coaster that takes you through the huge waves and crazy terrain during the thrilling ride. Beware of the rip current, and don't let the reef beat you up if you fall. Hang 10 and enjoy the summer adventure. From bonfire pits to a jacuzzi, this resort has everything you could want for a relaxing, fun vacation. Very cool. Looks like we're getting lost here today. Both creations, I was not able to get to the queue in the time it took to read the description, and I don't even know how to get to this queue because there's a queue here, or it's just a railing path, but it doesn't let me walk here. Cannot walk here. Maybe it's over here? Surf showers. Do we shower before we go on the coaster? I'm so confused. I mean, it's a souvenir shop. I would imagine this would be the exit. There's your photos. This has to be the exit. Yep. Okay, we're popping out, doing things the old way. So if we see the boarding station, this would be the queue. So yes, in fact, you're supposed to walk through the beach, but there's no indication on how to actually get there. I was getting stuck, so maybe what you need is some pebbles or some rocks or a natural path, something guiding us along the way. Yes, the AI can find their way there, but I don't see the invisible path as a spectator, right? But this would be the actual official entrance. Warning, strong rip current. Here we go. Surf's up, dude. Here's a look at the test results if you guys would like to see them. And I guess we're gonna stand on the surfboard for this one. Let's go. Glad you survived. You made that up to be something like dangerous and scary was gonna happen, and it was so calming, so relaxing, so chill. It's like, we're glad you survived. Well, how was I not? Oh, let's do a front bumper for the nighttime ride. All right, there it is. Let's take a closer look and talk about it. So another back-to-back, very playful and vibrant creation here. Fun coaster layout on that one. I like what you did with the Riptide. You actually turned it with a rotator as the coaster was going by with a trigger, and it created that splash. We've seen other people do similar Riptides throughout this contest. I definitely think the glass panels is a good way to do it, but this is also not too bad. It's just a little bit jaggedy, and you can very much tell. Like, I think that the glass, it kind of makes it look a little bit less fake, I guess, and kind of more realistic because it has that transparency to it, and each of the lines in the glass kind of just looks like noise in the water, right? But here's a look at it there. Small little turn, pretty cool. Yeah, I like what you did here. I like the setting. I don't know how I feel about putting it all in a box though, right? It is a little bit strange. I see what you're going for there. It's trying to create this atmosphere, but I definitely feel like there's a way to kind of, I mean, Frooty did a very kind of similar thing with a facade at the background, which I didn't, you know, I felt kind of the same way about this big kind of square background, because I feel like if you just, in Frooty's case, if we remove that and it's just the rainbow as the backdrop, right? I think, you know, these hard edges, the background there kind of breaks the cleanliness or the, you know, the neatness of the blueprint. Whereas just having that rainbow with the background there makes it come together quite nicely. And I don't think that square panel is necessary. And I would say the same thing here. Having these big Riptides and all that stuff serves more than enough as like an immersive background, because we have the background back there and you can have still this stuff here, and then you want to kind of focus your composition in the middle, right? That way the blueprint looks awesome from the outside, and we're curious to look at the centerpiece and composition a little closer, and we see all that from all angles of the park, right? If we're going to place this in our parks, we want it to look like an attractive attraction. And I think the box really obscures a lot of that, but at the same time, you're trying to create like a fun setting and all that. So I kind of see what you're going for there. I just don't know if it's the right decision for me, but everything else here, you've done some interesting custom supports with the coral pieces. You had a pretty cool queue walk in terms of like going through the beach and checking out all this stuff here. Some fun use of the tropical resort pack, as well as some souvenirs and a cute little boarding station. So it's a pretty strong effort overall from an expert builder here. So great job on this one here today, Coaster Kev. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next creation of the day is going to Cicada Screamer by VisitJoan, an advanced builder in this community. And here they say, what do you think when you hear the sounds of summer? Kids splashing in the pool, the thrills of a roller coaster, or the singing cicadas looking for summer love? You know, when summer cicadas start making their calls, enjoy the ride on Cicada Screamer, a roller coaster celebrating all things cicadas and summer. All right, short and sweet. All right, here we have another one, 3 for 3 here today, where people's descriptions are too short for me to line up with walking the queue. But I suppose this is their intention. They wanted me to do a Discovery Channel documentary of cicadas, which I guess are flies. I'm not going to read them all, but I will stop by and you guys can give it a pause and a read. Some of these lights are, I'm going to have to turn the light on so you can actually give it a read. But yeah, there's a lot of information here on cicadas. Holy moly. I like the artistry here. Ooh, that's gross. That is really gross. Why? Outlive the dinosaurs? Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, well, we're going to be flying around. Is it a flying coaster, I would imagine? That would make sense, right? What are we dealing with here? The Cicada. It is not a flying coaster. Open test results. Here's the test results here. What kind of a coaster are we actually dealing with? It is... Is this the Omni Mover? Multi-dimensional. Will it turn on us? I don't think you can actually look at the coaster. Yeah, it is. Look at that. Ooh, interesting. We're going to be looking around at things as we zip around here. Fun. Well, I think we're going to do look forward or seat view. Middle seat. Let's go. Okay, very fun. I mean, I guess with the your whole intention there with all of the information in the queue, teaching us about the cicadas a little bit, it sort of, you know, helps you build an appreciation for what the flies are doing, right? When you become educated about a certain species or way of living, you learn to appreciate them a little bit more. While I find flies to be annoying and gross, you found a way to make them kind of cute here. The little larvae and their little legsies here. Normally, larvae are disgusting and give me nightmares. However, you've painted them out to be, you know, trying to show an appreciation for life here, and we give them a happy little face, give them cameras and that sort of thing. And again, it goes back to what I was saying with the last creation with Frooty. You know, everybody has their personality. Okay, flashlight is off. Everybody has their personality, and VisitJoan here, you know, giving us a little bit of a documentary here, teaching us about cicadas and then showing us their way of living, and they are a natural part of summer, right? It's where they thrive. We get to see a look into their life and all sorts of different species of them, and it's kind of cute. It's kind of fun, and again, I like seeing people's personalities come through doing something a little bit different, which is awesome. Looks like the auto tunneling, I've seen this a few times in this contest. I don't know if Wookiebush had auto tunneling turned on when placing these coasters, because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to auto tunnel terrain where coasters are placed. So we'll have to make sure he turns that on for next time. But luckily, we asked people to try to avoid any terraforming at all, so we haven't seen it pop up too many times or be too problematic throughout this contest. Okay, very, very fun. Lots of basic shapes, some movers. Taking a stab at the multi-dimensional coaster is VisitJoan. Pretty advanced thing to do, and they are an advanced builder, so they're looking to rank up and show some diversity here. Looking good with the town here. I really like the font, the changing rooms, the way you did the queue there. We had the photo booth. Oh, that's a really good photo. Also, the fly took our photo, which was kind of cute. So yeah, putting a fun bubbly personality, putting a fun spin on these flies. It's quite cool. And here we have some flumes, just because. I mean, sure, why not? We can ride a flume or two. It's not a flume contest, but why not? Whee! Let's see here. How many flumes are there? Just the 2? 3? 4? Holy moly. Someone's making... Oh, no, it's just the 3. Woo! Yeah, we haven't ridden a whole lot of flumes since the flume contest with the physics on. Look forward to seeing more flumes in upcoming park spotlights and stuff after this coaster contest is over. But we will definitely revisit the flumes again, as even though the flume contest was pretty awesome, it was a blueprint contest, and I would say the same thing for this coaster contest. We want to start things small and layer them up. I'm gonna have to put this one in test mode, right? Yeah, it's closed. We like to layer things up in contests. With Planet Coaster 2, we started with the flume contest blueprint with 4K as the minute limit. Now we have 8K, and we're doing coaster blueprints. We're seeing what people can do with them. So the natural progression is to either aim for, you know, park file contests. Maybe that could include flumes. Maybe that could include coasters, or maybe both, right? So things to think about for the future here. Got me thinking here. Very fun blueprint though. Lots of color, creativity, great characters. They're hanging out. A little bit of education there in the queue as well. Fun build. Great job on this one here today. VisitJoan. And ladies and gentlemen, our last creation of the day is going to Pawn's Promise by Mole17. Mully, I don't know how to say the name. Mulay, unranked and now builder. Heyo, I've been watching from the sideline for some time and finally decided to participate in a competition just to challenge myself a little more. I have a few hundred hours in Planet Zoo, but pretty new to Planet Coaster. Only started playing when Planko 2 came out, therefore this is the first ever coaster I've completed. Cool. Being from Denmark, I tried giving the coaster the feel of a Danish summer, and something about Fairy Tale of Hans Christian Andersen gives me exactly that feeling. Every summer growing up, my grandmother would take me to see the local theater piece based off the fairy tales of H.C. Andersen, and a tradition I am continuing with my own child. Aww. This coaster is inspired by the lovely tale of the ugly duckling. Aww. I hope you enjoy. Adorable. All right, there it is. Not a whole lot going on for nighttime, which is a little disappointing, but very fun and playful creation here. And I actually like what you did with the door here. You actually cut it out so the coaster track would properly fit through it. Not something we see every day. Okay, no photo booth. I just wanted to check because I didn't walk down the exit. Love the Planko friend. I feel like I've seen the Planko friend. Maybe I haven't released the video yet, but I definitely remember featuring this Planko friend in an upcoming Planko friend episode or a past one. It's a very cute one. I don't know how to pronounce the name properly. You guys are going to have to help me out. Mule, not entirely sure, but if someone can help me with the pronunciation, I will hopefully remember for next time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I remember the ugly duckling story from way when I was young. There was one duck that looked different from the rest, and it turned out to grow up into being a beautiful swan, right? And that's the story. And it just so happens that this creator came from Planet Zoo. They're doing something with the animals, and I think that's very fun. Again, we have a running theme here. People like really pushing the theming towards their personality, and we're seeing like an extreme amount of personality theming gone into today's episode, and I think it's fun. Your very first ever creation. Now, as I did say, I mentioned that I remember featuring your Planko friend, but I do not remember featuring this character, this creator from oh, here we go. The Ugly Duckling. The story of how the little ducklings overcomes obstacles and challenges with patience and determination, finally finds the companionship which he has been searching for. Oh, did the duckling fall in love with a dove? I don't remember now. Or a swan. I can't remember. There's, yeah, it's been so long. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't remember featuring this creator in a challenge series. So you jumped straight from a Planko friend to a contest, which is very ambitious. And you did a very good job at that. For a brand new builder to Planet Coaster, you're trying a lot of things with the movers. You're building a roller coaster. Building a roller coaster is probably the most intimidating thing to start with. That is why we're doing the challenge series on Discord and featuring those on the channel as well, giving people small bite-sized challenges to tackle so they can practice their artistry before tackling something like a coaster. But you jumped straight into the coaster and did a pretty good fun coaster layout at that, with an inverted, what was it, two-seater? Very cool. And the theming here is all really great. It's very fun. It's very Planet Zoo-y, and I like that. I like that is showing your personality. I think this is a great starting point for our creator here today. The only thing I would suggest adding, I mean, you do have like the motion with the water, and you did use a few movers here with the swan spreading its wings there and the tunnel, but I was really hoping to see the little bit of because I still in my mind can't remember the Ugly Duckling story properly, and I think conveying that we did see the little duckling come out here, but you know, I would have loved to see the adventure start off a little bit slower and kind of give us a play-by-play of the story, and I would have loved to see like a herd of ducklings walking through the water or crossing the pond, or you know, some cute little ways to use the characters and the movers throughout the coaster experience, but would be extremely hard to do with a inverted coaster because it's constantly moving and doesn't give you time to breathe and soak up and look at things. So in this case, when you're thinking about doing like, hey, I want to tell a story or I want to have something as my inspiration is to show the story of the Ugly Duckling, think about what your platform is, right? And I think in this case, I would take a page out of what our last creator did and use like a multi-dimensional coaster where you can stop at times, look inward, and show the scenes and show the little bits of the story and the setting, and pace yourself a little bit. And that way your coaster helps navigate the story and the experience that you want to make. I was always a fan of people choosing coasters that match their theme. So another option you could have gone with was maybe a flying coaster, and we look down at the scenes, right? As we're flying over top of them, we can tell a little bit of the story and see some of the story and different things going on as it slowly glides around. So definitely something to think about for next time, but overall, fun coaster, fun artistry, and a very good first time creation for a brand new member to this community. Welcome, Mule? Question mark. There it is. A lot of fun, vibrant, and playful with heavy-hitting personality creations here. Very much so. All four of them. Everybody's kind of pushing themselves here and showcasing a lot of fun, vibrant playfulness throughout today's episode. And a very fun one. Very, very fun one. Great job to everybody in today's episode. An additional shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you guys so much for keeping the dream alive. If you guys want to support the show, check out Patreon. Patreon down below. And that is going to do it for today's episode of the Summer Coaster Contest. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye now.